Was that one? They made a remake about it. Either way, my favorite. Normally people drink water. I drink Pepsi. Hi, welcome. A friend of mine asked me to watch the movie The Kid. They said if you like Western movies, you have to see The Kid. So I'm a big fan of, I hate to say it, John Wayne. Has to be Big Jake. Other movies I liked was 3:10 to Yuma. I really like that one. I love the movie Open Range. And that's what I like about Open Range is it was so, people are like, oh, that's a boring movie. It was boring, but it was setting up because it has a 30-minute action sequence where it was awesome. He had a shotgun against a wall. There's a guy on the other side of the wall. He has a shotgun. He shoots the wall. The wall explodes. The guy flies 10 feet into another wall. So my friend asked me, hey, you have to see the movie The Kid. It's really good Western. So I was excited. I enjoy Ethan Hawke, and he said the bad guy was Chris Pratt. He ain't in here. It's right over there. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's the bad guy? I'm in. Then the movie started. So it was a very muddled opening. I kept asking, so is this his wife? Is this what's happening? All we open up to is mother and father fighting, and father ends up killing mother. Young brother ends up killing father. And I didn't know if that was his sister or if it was just somebody he knew. I don't think it was very clear in the movie. No. But then Chris Pratt finds out that this kid killed his brother, which happened to be the kid's father. And so he tries to kill the kid. Kid ends up stabbing him right below the eye with a blade of glass. Okay? And then they ran off. Him and his sister. And then they end up running off, and then they find Billy the Kid and in a shack, kind of having a little conversation with them. Next morning, Billy the Kid and his posse almost get slaughtered because the law ended up finding them at this cabin. And these two stowaways, runaways, end up tagging along with these lawmen, and Billy the Kid ends up, it's almost like 3:10 to Yuma at this point, where they're like, hey, we're gonna take this guy to get hung, and okay, fine. But this kid, the young kid, ends up befriending Billy the Kid for some reason. We don't know why. There's really no chemistry there, and ultimately ends up trying to help him. I think the best scene in the entire movie is when Ethan Hawke, you could see Ethan Hawke's stardom, how good he is in acting, even with a shit script. Ethan Hawke saw the young kid pass a knife to Billy the Kid, who was tied up, and he saw that happen. So he gives this huge speech to this little kid and explains that doing the right thing, you have to do the right thing, even if it has bad repercussions on you, or it might get you scot-free. Do the right thing. And is there anything you need to confess that you've done? He doesn't know that he killed his father. He doesn't know any of that. He only knows that there's that one little thing that he did was pass the knife. He saw that happen. So the kid, not heeding his warning, was like, nah, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything wrong. I have nothing to confess. Okay, fine. But throughout the entire movie, the little kid is doing all these things to befriend Billy the Kid because he thinks Billy can help him for some reason. There is no reason in this entire movie to say why he can help him. I don't know. This movie. Chris Pratt's character, they catch up with them, takes the girl, puts her into this prostitution thing, and the little boy needs to find out where she's at. So the little boy keeps following, and Ethan Hawke and his posse taking Billy the Kid away. And he thinks for some reason Billy the Kid knows where she's at. Billy the Kid even sends a note to his friend who's about to get hung about these two and says he knows where, and then the guy, even before he's about to get hung, explains to the kid, I know where your sister is. Billy sent the message to me. Go find Billy. And then he's hung, dead. Last words. Why does Billy care? Why does anybody care about these two? So the kid ends up going to try to find Billy. He does. The lawman won't let him go see Billy. So the kid ends up robbing a bank, getting shot in the process. So they have to keep the kid, and he's able to talk to Billy now, having Billy escape, Billy the Kid. Where's Ethan Hawke? Ethan Hawke had to leave. Then the kid is with Billy. The kid is asking, so, where's my sister? Where's my sister? Billy's like, we'll get to that. Until Ethan Hawke comes in, finds Billy the Kid, shoots him dead. And then finally the kid is like, hey, I've got nothing left. There's this bad guy and blah, blah, blah. This is an hour and 20 minutes into the film. This finally happened. The story actually happens. We had to follow this stupid kid befriending Billy the Kid for some reason. And we think it's going to be about Billy the Kid, and no. So then the movie's on like fast forward at that point, and they just go, boom. Now we finally get to the place, and Ethan Hawke meets Chris Pratt, and they have a talk. Chris Pratt has this awesome little monologue about bluebirds, and that's the only thing he can hear, and he's really trying, but then Ethan Hawke owns him in the entire scene by one line, and just staring at him and says, no one has to die here today. I love Chris Pratt, but Ethan Hawke really showed his tenure being an actor. He's great. So then, cheap ass fight scene. Terrible stunts. They should have cut away a lot quicker on a lot of these shots. These shots hold too much that if you learned anything from Taken 1, shake the camera just a little bit, at least. Because when there's bad stunts, It is so obvious. Then Ethan Hawke and Chris Pratt go to do a duel outside, and it's anticlimactic. The little kid ends up shooting him off to the side, shooting Chris Pratt off to the side, and the end. They save the sister. The movie was just, and now this, and now this. There's no real draw. Ethan Hawke was able to put emotion and caring in his character, some layers, but nobody else had it in the entire movie. I wish Chris Pratt did the same, and then I would have been happy. It would have been a decent movie, but he even fell flat. It's just a chore to sit through, and it's only about an hour and 30-minute movie, and it's just a chore. I wanted to turn it off. My face was just in shock the entire movie that this is such lazy writing. This happened, and they want to put so many more. They want to add so much that other movies have done better. Like they wanted it to be more of like a 3:10 to Yuma. The bad guy and the good guy end up becoming friends, but Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, so much better actors to do that. You have a little kid who's not that good of an actor. I thought was a girl the entire time. And then this other guy, Jake Sure, as Billy the Kid, didn't work. It didn't work. It's no True Grit. It's nothing where it's visually stunning, and the old True Grit is so much better. You can't beat John Wayne in True Grit. Just so hard to watch, because they tried to do a 3:10 to Yuma, but it didn't come across at all. And then the action sequences, sad. And you don't have to have action for, like, I love the movie Big Jake. There's not a lot of action in that movie. It's old-timey action, but the story was good, and it just jumped straight into it. Same as this, it jumped straight into it, but problem is there's no heart behind it. I didn't care about the characters. You need to care about your characters, and that is the biggest flaw with this. I didn't care about. Then they try to do a twist on the movie where you're like, oh, okay, so the Billy the Kid is. If you took Billy the Kid out of the movie, the entire movie, nothing would change. You want things to actually matter in the movie. Nothing would change. So why give us the entire movie? The movie could be a 20-minute short of just kids running off. They get to the wrong place, and the lawman helps. That's really all that happens. But no, they had to throw in this Billy the Kid in there just to extend the movie. If you do enjoy the movie, let me know how. What is it that's appealing to this movie? There is nothing that I found redeemable about this movie. So, I don't recommend this movie. I don't. If you are a fan of any Western or anything, if you're a fan of movies, don't watch it. You're going to be insulted. Check out our other movie reviews. They're a little bit more produced than this one, but I had to voice my opinion on this one. So, thank you.